Hello there, my name is Richard. The first time seeing my channel, I used to review cartoon series, anime series, so stop it, computer random. Today we'll talk about a new series from Netflix called The Oddballs. If you know the name, it's basically based on a YouTuber who called himself James, or basically the odd one out. But he sort of got well known doing sort of skits of making sort of animation falling into sort of short stories that he tell a story, he observe something, make some jokes, and give you a life lesson. That's basically what he does the most. Basically, he's so well known being the nice guy, so ironically. After that, he was so successful, he tried to pitch a show, and he finally got the chance to pitch a show and create one called The Oddball. Now, how to describe this series? It's basically James living his life being a teen with his best friend Max, who basically got very odd adventures. Later on, a new character comes in called Echo, who comes in the future, who trying to stop some evil doer to ruin the future, but what's more, as a gag. In this whole series, it's just sort of name-picking life lessons or life things that is sort of weird and odd. And that's basically it, the whole show in a nutshell. But there is one major problem. The whole show is very boring. It's something that has humor inside. You have side joke that actually is funny. I think one of the big example is like a small little store who fixes phones, and the store's name is "You break it, we do not judge it. We do not judge you." In other words, it's funny. It's sort of really random and it works. But that's the only funny thing is the side things. James himself, he sort of doesn't understand, or he does understand comedy. He see his original YouTube channel, you can see he understands the premise of making a joke, but he sort of forget that this is a new medium. He making a complete story working with other people together. You have to have chemistry. James has sort of a chemistry, but he's sort of well known being the nice guy that sort of forced him to play that part on realizing you have to be the straight man or to the weirdos next to you. Something like Seinfeld does the best, because the main lead is the comedian of Seinfeld. He knew he had to be the straight man. Jerry, he's the one who sort of reacts to everything, but once again, that makes sense because you have to change your style. You have to change, understand this is completely different medium. Of course, it makes sense. This is made for a very young audience, but even that, this is meant to be 3 or 4 year old, or maybe 6. I don't think anyone would want to finish this series because how kind of boring. You have a little genius here and there that could be really funny, but it's just sort of don't understand how built a joke, or understand you have something here, he just doesn't focus on enough. For example, there's like the first episode, Max became sort of like a father figure with James with this sort of toaster. Sounds ridiculous, that's the whole point, but you see Max's sort of backstory, how his parents are scientists, or they're cold. He's a crocodile that sort of adopted him, so he has sort of mentality, dry, distant sort of father figure vibes to him, and it's sort of hilarious to see him trying to be a father figure to this toaster, but they never fully commit. You have moments that it's kind of funny. Also, doesn't help that James is not he's not a good actor or good main lead, because doing a YouTube telling stories, you basically narrating, but you're not acting. So you can see him trying to deliver jokes, but the only problem is he doesn't land them because he doesn't know how to kind of bend his voice. I think one of the big examples is sort of Star versus. You looking for a main lead star, you just hear her, how she talks, how she stops for a second or pause and set up the joke. You can see the difference of someone who's professional doing that or rest of their lives to someone who does YouTube but just sort of narrates, because it's two completely different jobs. Yeah, I kind of wish he maybe hire someone who sounds like James and he's the one who's sort of written the story, but at the same time it doesn't work. I mean, some of the things they set up, it just fails completely. I was hoping they bring Echo, maybe it was to be the last part of all three, the whole thing, to make it actually work, but it doesn't. It's just so boring. You have less decent side jokes. The voice actors are great. They all land their skits, but it's sort of you don't have a straight man, or they just don't know how to write a joke properly, or they just don't have timing perfectly. It just there's little things here there. It just fall apart. But I have to admit, the animation is good. It's really well made, and the expression, also the character designs look sort of adorable. It works, but once again, maybe this is meant for a very young audience, but even that, I don't think the young audience will actually watch this. Now, the humor, to compare it, sort of think of it, Powerpuff Girls 16, the reboot version, the 2016 version, that it's trying too hard to be funny. Think of it like that, but more kind of, I realize it had to be slowing down, but even that doesn't work. Like, it trying to do something, but just doesn't click. I can't say anything else, just I don't recommend it. But all of that, what do you think about this series? Do you see it? Do you hate it? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.